I'll tell you this, and I'm going to assume, because Gary's been out there, that Vic's going over the top, or maybe he's just being honest. Let's go to a guy, Fox 29, played the position 12-plus years. Our friend Garry Cobb. Boy, I'll tell you something, man. When they hired this guy, Vic Fangio, Gary, dude, they got the guy, man, because he's going to put you on blast. It's like Mike Tomlin kind of stuff, man. I mean, what's your takeaway so far with what you've seen for 2 weeks going on out there?
Well, most of the he's just telling the truth. He's telling what he's seen. And, guys are learning the defense. And, some of the guys, you're asking to do things that they never did before, see. So with Huff, come on. Huff's been playing part-time. He's come in as a pass rusher. And, he's not the best pass rusher either. I'm looking at him. He's not dominating anybody. Of course, he's not used to going against Lane Johnson every day.
And Jordan Mailata.
And Jordan Mailata. So you got two outstanding tackles. So unless you're going with the twos against the twos, but a lot of times when they get to a certain period, hey, they want one against one. Hey, get up here. Get some of this here. So he's got to go against the best guys. And, he's been getting blocked by those guys. And he's still learning the defense too, because sometimes he's dropping. He's not just rushing the passer all the time. And so he's got to learn that part of it. And, this is a challenge, and I could see where all the guys, it's, it's hot, but come on. I can't cry for those guys. They only practice one time. Okay. They're not doing double days. And really what has happened is he's really just calling things as he is. Now some of this is pushing guys where maybe they had a practice where they just kind of went through the motions or whatever. So he's identifying that. But for the most part, he's just telling what he's seen. And what he's doing, he's the kind of guy who he knows this is going to get back to the guy. But it's motivation. Come on, pick it up, And so that's some of it. But for the most part, he's just calling it like it is because some of these guys have never had a situation like this where they're going against the quality on the other side on this level.
Hold on, Gary.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that in today's NFL camp, and over at NovaCare, they don't have two-a-days?
No, you can't do two-a-days. Come on.
Training camp has no week of two-a-days?
That's illegal. Cannot do two-a-days.
How can you get better?
You can only have one practice a day.
I thought there was a week you had two-a-days.
No two-a-days. You cannot do two-a-days. Now, they could do, maybe they go out and show them some plays. They can't be putting on anything. One practice. One practice a day. You cannot practice 2 times a day. That's the way it is. Now, they have them in the rooms where they're going through the mental part of it and everything. But they're out there one time. I was over there today. Come on. Those guys shut me up. Even time some of the guys, that I know, some of the guys been there. Hey, God, hey, man, we're done, man. What are you doing? They're going to mess with me, Hey, whatever, like if I'm getting over there a little late, Cobb, man, we're done, man. You missed it, So they only one practice, man. That's an NFL rule.
That is absolute craziness to it. Let me ask you this, Garry.
I'll tell you this too. If a guy can tell his coach, look, if you try to practice us 2 times, I'm telling you, man.
$300,000 fine.
At least $1 million.
Yeah.
They're going to fine the team. That's exactly what they're going to do.
How about this?
Yeah.
Do you now think after – I'm with you, man, too, and this kid Huff. Dude, it's been 2 weeks. I had not heard his name. You think they are now looking at this as it was maybe a strategical mistake to let Reddick go?
I think that, Fangio, he already, kind of let it know that he wasn't in favor of this, and he really, I got to give it to him. He does talk. And because he says, hey, I was doing this, I was doing that. I mean, he just comes out and says it, So he was not in favor of this.
How about this one too, Gary, when you're listening to him talk?
Yeah.
I heard this yesterday when he addressed the media. You were probably there when he did this, but someone asked him a question. He goes, yeah, I'm up in the booth by myself. All the assistant coaches are on the sidelines.
Yep.
And someone asked him why. He goes, well, I don't want anyone telling me what they saw. I'm going to be up here, and I'm going to make the decision on what I see.
That's
right. I'll convey the messages that I want to the players. And I went like this. Holy shit. This guy's a head rooster, and there's only one rooster in the building. Hey. And that dude's going to let you know he ain't listening to anybody give him intel. I mean, what do you make of the guy and the way he's coaching this team and the impact that you think he has on this team? I think it's a positive.
I definitely think it's a positive because, it's, this is throwback type football. This is the coach, old style coach. But if you want to be good, you want the guy to tell you, hey, look, you got to do that better than that. You got to be better at that. Well, you want him to lie to you and pat you on the head? The guys that like that kind of stuff are soft guys, and they're not champions. They're not going to win anything with the coach patting you on the back and everything. And then you go out and you see your legitimate players, they're going to whoop your behind. So I think this is probably something that all these guys aren't used to. They're not used to this type of blunt type of conversations like that. But I think it's putting fire up on them too, to know, look, man, you got to step it up. And so I think it's good. And the thing about it is, you see, he's not out there guessing. He knows what he wants. I like some of the designs and things he does. I'm saying now that's the way to do it. You can see the way he teaches these guys. And if you do it the way he wants it, you're going to be a better player. The guy hasn't been around the game all this time and had the success he's had, because he doesn't know what he's talking about. So he knows what he's talking about. He is blunt, even though, really, come on, our coaches were worse.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say that, meaning like they weren't going to say the stuff all in front of the camera. But when they got you in the back, they're going to cuss you out. They're going to tell you, blop, blop, in so many words, that this is horrible. You cannot play. Here, run that back. Such and such. You're not going to make this team doing that. And if you do make the team, you're not going to be able to play like this. And they're going to be honest with you. They got to, because their jobs are on the line. So you got to get production. So they're going to be playing with you. And really, if you want to be a good player, you appreciate it. You want the coach, because you want to be ready when you're walking down there to the field. You want to be ready. You want the coach that gets me ready. I don't need nobody holding my hand. I'm a grown man. Tell me the truth. I want you ready so we could win, And so that's what he's doing. And I think that it's sobering. And he's at a point in his career. What are you going to do to him?
Nothing. No. He's pretty much been around the room and around the track. He knows what's going on. But Gary, man, I mean, if you're a guy like him and you were there at that scrimmage last week, I mean, are you more concerned now? They got ran over. There were gaping holes. You didn't even have Landon in, and you didn't have Tyler Steen in. And these guys were blowing holes up. The linebacking core was atrocious. Even the D tackles were getting knocked off the football. I mean, did you have more concern right now about that defense today than you did going into that scrimmage on Thursday?
Well, I can't say that I didn't expect some of this. I expected this group to be behind the offense.
Kenny Gainwell looked like Walter Payton last week.
No. But, some of this I expected. They got a better offense than they have defense. They've got more veteran players offensively. When you go out there and you see, their offensive line comes up to the line of scrimmage, you're looking at, a group of Pro Bowl players on the offensive line, and they've been playing together. You only got one guy in there where you really kind of got a question mark, is at the right guard spot. Other than that, you got guys that have done it. In fact, have dominated other good defenses. So you expect them to have an advantage. But the thing you want to see, and I think I'm starting to see, I will commend Carter and Davis have been playing. Davis shown me more stamina. He's been He's been more consistent. So I like the way that's going. So
Good.
Now, can I say I've seen a lot with everybody else, like you mentioned about the linebackers? You see, they'll make a play, then they'll get beat. They'll make a play, then they get beat. So you need to see more consistency. But with White, you see that I see good things out of him. With the kid Bohm, I see him pretty good. Everybody else, they're more up and down, where you don't see the consistency, and that's the issue.
Make me feel better about Devin White, because I don't. I just don't see it, Gary. I mean, here's a guy. I asked this question. Listen to this. In the last 10 years, there's only been 2 linebackers drafted in the top 5 picks. He's one of them. And the Bucs let him walk out the building, and he's 26.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And here he is. I mean, make me feel better about him.
Well, I have to say, now he's a good athlete. I mean, he can run. He's quick. He can cover. You're not going to be like the Eagles running some deep routes to Barkley with him. He can run. He's running with Barkley, so he can run. And the thing he is he's you can't say he's not that big. I mean, he was saying, I heard him saying he weighed 235. I don't know. I don't know that I see 235 there, but he's got speed. He is smart. He knows the game. The thing that he's got to make sure he's doing is he's tackling, even though they haven't been doing a lot of tackling.
Yep. To be fair, no tackling. And to your point, Gary, this guy covered in the NFC South when he was down there. I mean, playing down there with the Bucs, you're covering McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara.
I know.
I mean, you're covering some folks out of the backfield, so he has to have some skill set for that.
He has the ability to do that. The thing you wonder about is that, though, people are going to try to run right at him. They're going to try to run up that gut.
Yeah.
And, you got to load. You got some big boys there in front of him. And he just got to be smart about it. If he needs to have these guys moving in order to keep the offense, where they can't just line up and try to pound the ball at him. That's the thing. Because when I see him, I'm going like, I think I could put one of these 330-pounders on him, running right at him, see? So that's the thing you're concerned about. But I think that, right now, I tell you the thing is, he's hungry. You can see the way he came in. He took over the defense right away. The guy knows what he's doing. But I imagine there's some times down where, you're not playing where you show up and you realize your career is on the line. He knows his career is on the line. Now, he could go on, if he has a good year, he could go on and sign a deal with somebody and for some ridiculous sum, or he could be cut and he's gone. So he knows what's on the line. So he's been very serious. The time he got here, he's been very serious about what he's doing. He's talking to the guys, and that's the thing you like, is he's talking to everybody on the defense. You hear him yelling. You see him talking to these guys, which is what you got to do, and you got to get everybody talking. So guys are communicating. So when it comes to smarts, he's got them. He's been through this before. The thing is, I think he needed a fire up on his butt. Well, he's got it, because if he don't step up, he's not playing well. Hey, where's he going to go after this? Where you going to go play in the Australian League or something?
Yeah. I'm with you, Gary. Do you think that they're trending for this starting lineup against in the secondary? Against the Packers, Isaiah Rodgers at CB2, Blankenship at safety. The other safety would be Gardner Johnson, and the other corner will be Slay. You think that's how it's looking right now? Because I was listening to Isaiah Rodgers today, and it seems that he's a leader in the clubhouse. That could change right now. And one thing that's definitely different than our time, Gary, no hip drop tackle today. I don't know how physical you have to be back there. Keely Ringo's more of a physical guy. Yeah. But at the end of the day here, I mean, you're talking about getting guys on the ground now, and that's kind of what plays right into, I think, the skill set of Isaiah Rodgers more. Do you see that evolving into where I just named those 4 guys?
Now, yes. Those are the guys that are lining up out there.
With Mitchell getting playing time, maybe dime or nickel.
What's that now?
With Mitchell getting time, either dime or nickel.
That's right. That's who's been out there, and that's seems like what they're ready to go with. I think the other guys are going to get shots. As I heard Kellen Ringo, him talking today, and he's been doing a good job. So they have depth at those positions. At least it looks like they do. I shouldn't just jump ahead because a lot of these kids, till somebody's done it, you really can't say you're so sure they can do the job and play at a high level throughout an entire season and be consistent and everything. So that we're going to find out. I saw them out there working the young kid, DeJean, to get him back. They're trying
Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, Cooper DeJean. They're trying to get him out there as soon as they can because they know how important this would have been for him to getting those reps and things. So these kids, they got talent. They can run and everything. Are they going to be able to play and tackle and all that? We're going to have to find all that out because they're really not doing that out here. This is touch football. When it comes to nobody, they haven't been doing any, when it comes to tackling people to the ground, they're not doing any of that. Maybe they're going to do that when they go up against New England, maybe next week or something.
So
they're going up there next week.
A couple, organized team practices, like you said. Then Friday, obviously, is the Ravens here.
Yeah.
When you're hearing comments like this about Gardner Johnson today went in for an MRI. Does that expedite maybe the conversation about a Justin Simmons? And Garry, I throw Justin Simmons' name out because obviously he's familiar with Vic Fangio. And if your linebacking core is so suspect, I mean, one thing you can't have is that if your defensive line is giving it up and your linebackers can't make tackles, the only thing those running backs are going to hit their head on are the goalpost. So don't you want to have reliability and don't you want to have some consistency back there with guys who make plays? I mean, you're talking about Cooper DeJean being hurt. You're also talking about playing Bradbury out of position back there. And now you've got Gardner Johnson going in for an MRI who came off a year where he only played one regular season game. Are you concerned back there a little bit about the depth and the health of some of the players you've got to lean on?
Without a doubt. I know, I was out there today and I could see that, DJ, he wasn't practicing. He's out there in his shorts. And, I'm talking him out there with the Fox guy and telling him, hey, look, man, why these guys don't practice? I mean, everybody's out all the time, practice a day, take 2 days off, I saw guys do that when you're out there for 5 weeks, but it's just, I don't know what his injury is. I don't know how serious that is. If they are, looking at it, under the scope, that isn't good. I mean, one of the things I see, like he went through a year last year where he didn't play.
Played one game for the Lions.
I mean, that's really frustrating because I saw 80, the third receiver. What's his name?
Paris Campbell.
Paris Campbell. He's standing over there in his shorts. Well, man, what is going on?
Yeah.
Why do these guys they take off so much? I mean, it's this, it's that. I'm trying to find. Well, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with this guy? I mean, you got to be able to put some tape on the thing and get back out there, man. You got to be able to play through some things. And that's really frustrating. That's the kind of thing I really wasn't happy out there today in seeing, that all these guys, I mean, look, we got to be able to rely on you to be out there. You got to play through some stuff. But I guess it's just today's player, man. I don't understand, man.
I got it. Garry, couple last questions for you here. How much of the starters and should the starters play on Friday? What do you want to see? Because you and me, just common sense. New coordinators, a lot of new faces on defense.
Yep.
You've got new check down kind of offense on the other side of the ball when we're talking screen offense to the running backs. It seems to be a major priority for them. I mean,
yes.
What do you want them to do? And what would you think would be appropriate on Friday when it comes to what players play on Friday?
Well, at some point this year, preseason, and I don't think it's this week, maybe the next week, where you got to have these guys go out there for at least a quarter where they got to play. Maybe, end up playing a half, but you want to see go out and play and be sharp, where you go through all of the points of the game where the guys that are, let's say, receivers able to catch a ball, get tackled, where running back gets tackled, gets hit, where he's carrying the ball, gets tackled, where you play the game a little bit. where maybe the offense gets a chance to drive, the defense gets out there and gets a few chances to, stop the other team. They're not going to show everything, just like you're not going to show everything. But you want to give the players to get nervous a little bit. How the way you do before a game, you get everything taped up and everything, and you get out there and you hit somebody with a different jersey, so you get used to just playing a little bit. That's the thing that I would say at some point you need to do that.
Two last questions. Jalen Hurts. There's people out there keeping statistics on INTs and such, but I know that you and me, it's the stupidest shit going. But there is something to this point. Don't you agree that the number one priority that probably Hurts has, or one of his top 3 priorities, has been protecting the football? I mean, the one thing that he had a year ago, which obviously was a demise to his offense a year ago, was the turnovers and what happened to that.
Right.
Doesn't it seem like they've made a major priority, and one of the top 3 things that they're doing this camp is to make sure that the ball doesn't hit the ground? I'm hearing the ball hasn't hit the ground a ton, and he's made a couple errant throws, but not a lot. He's been really effective and efficient in being able to read the offenses that Kellen's doing. It's a far cry from the OTAs and minicamp.
Yeah.
But that looks like it's been a priority.
I think so, and you can see that there was a priority on him. 1, 2, 3, getting that ball out. He starts out practice. It's 1, 2, 3, and the ball is out. That he's willing to take that short throw. I'm going to take what these guys give me. So that starting out a game, and that was kind of, and I don't want to just start throwing, big names out there, but I know some of the best quarterbacks that I played against, they would get into a rhythm on you. 1, 2, 3, and that ball is out. And that seems like that's what they're doing, knowing that, look, if we take this, later in this game, we're going to be able to take this, because they're not going to keep giving us this, because we're going to hit Barkley on the move, because we're going to give him that ball quickly. And with Barkley, I tell you, you got your work cut out for you. If you got to tackle him where you're dropping as fast as he is and as big as he is, to be able to just tackle him without him falling at least for a total of 7 yards or so. See, so you're going to be able to get good yardage, but you also eventually, that defense is going to have to try to clamp on that to take that away, and that's going to open up everything downfield. And it just seems like that's the whole mentality. Take the short stuff initially. Let's get the ball out of your hands. We don't want to be just holding on to the ball. We're putting them in a situation where they can't cover everybody. If they try to take these short guys, then the guys in back of them are going to be open. So you're going to be able to throw the ball downfield a little bit more. But you can see that he knows who he's reading. They got guys in motion. They do a lot of shifting. They also give you this look, and then the guy's going to go over to the other side, then come in motion back. They're going to make a defense show what they're in, because once the guy goes in motion eventually, they're going to know, are you in zone or man-to-man? You got to show, because nobody's going with the guy. You know that it's a zone. They're in a zone. So they do that so that Jalen knows what defense you're in, and then he knows where he's going to attack. He knows he's got 2 or 3 guys, and which side of the defense he's probably going to end up throwing the ball, and then he gets rid of it. And obviously they coached him on that, which is he's getting the ball out of his hands, and then as the game goes on, he knows that other things are going to open up further downfield. But initially, he's going to take what you give him. That's the way.
Finally, do you believe that the third wide receiver is on this team, or is the third wide receiver that's on this team now Barkley?
Well, you said the third. You say Barkley.
Do you think the third wide receiver is on this team now, or will they substitute that with Saquon Barkley being the third option?
No, now Barkley is going to want to be one of the options, but I tell you, they have really been playing the tall kid, the rookie,
the Wilson kid.
They've been playing him, and they've been throwing the ball to him.
Huh?
Yes, out there today. He was
in the red zone or in the middle of the field, 20-20.
It really was the third guy all the entire practice.
Wow.
Yeah, he was the third guy.
So he's moving up, in your opinion. You know what? Garry, I think that's significant. Garry, that's got to be significant, because that's Nick's forte. He was a wide receiver coach, so if he sees something in that, that's something. I mean, this guy developed Keenan Allen, and this guy knows one thing you could say, man, I mean, look at what Devontae and all these guys, I mean, that's saying a lot that they've elevated them.
Well, I'll tell you, the one thing, definitely, the kid can go up and get the ball out of the air.
Huh?
I mean, he's 6'6", 6'7", long arms. He goes up and gets the ball. I mean, and they've been doing what they've been throwing the ball to him down there in the red zone. He goes one-on-one, and he just throws it up there for him. He goes up and gets it. So, and then a lot of times, even when you're throwing the ball to him, he's got an advantage because he's so tall that he's still kind of open even when he's covered. So they have been working him in there. They had him in there a lot because, you know, the other guys, you know, if a guy's over there where he's hurt all the time, then, you know, he's in there taking the reps. So I'm going like, I don't know, you know, I don't know what it is. I mean, these guys are pros. Like, dude, you're fighting for a position. What are you? I'm going like, I don't see no injury. I don't see nothing wrapped up or nothing. What's wrong?
Can't be on a milk carton. Can't be on a milk carton.
I don't get it, man. You know, some of these guys, I just don't get it. But he got all the reps today. He was the third guy.
Wow.
Throughout the entire practice, right? And they were doing a lot of red zone. They were doing a lot of situational, you know, plays and things. But he was out there.
So he was in the slot?
What's
he
that?
was in the slot?
Well, he was different. He was lined up all over.
Okay.
He was in the slot. He's outside. You know, times he's you know, they got trips where he's on the strong side with the other receivers. Then he's on the backside with the tight end. So they had him lined up all over the place, and he was getting the reps at the number one. So,
is that the first time all camp they've done that?
No. I mean, they have been working him in other times too, where, like I said, red zone, they like running plays for him where when he's one-on-one on the backside, they're throwing, you know, for him to go up and get it. In the red zone, they've been working that in because he started doing it. Initially, he was catching balls over guys' heads. So now they see where very tough to stop him without getting a pass interference penalty. The guy's 6'6" with long arms down to his ankles. he can go up and get it, man. He'd be very good at that. And it's going to be very difficult. So I think you're going to see some of that during the season because, you know, you can see it's tough. I mean, without the guy getting pass interference, I mean, what is he going to do? It's like he's climbing a tree, man.
It's like Carol Carmichael out there.
That's what it's like. And he's got the long arms, and he's been doing a good job of going up and getting it. And you see that Jalen has confidence in him because even I could see where sometimes where it looked like pretty much everybody was covered. He sees he's over there on a little guy. He's throwing the ball to him.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's really great insight there that Johnny Wilson, I believe the FSU kid,
Yep.
I think this guy's getting he's getting elevated, man. And so you may see
Right
him
now,
take that
yes.
Paris Campbell job.
You know what? Paris is over there, you know, in the shorts. He might wind up in the shorts. He keeps on.
Yeah. I got you. Garry Cobb giving us the inside live from NovaCare there, man. I appreciate it very much. Should be interesting on Friday to see what they do. Not yet told the players. I heard them talking today what their game strategy is going to be and who plays and who doesn't play. Should be interesting. But, Garry,
Yep.
Thank you, my friend.
Hey, have a good one.
You got it. Garry Cobb, Fox 29. Make sure you check him out. Covers the Birds there for you, too. How about that, man? So Johnny Wilson is getting love from Jalen Hurts and from Nick Sirianni and from Kellen Moore. That tells you a little bit here. Seals can always count on an FSU guy. Scott, why? Scott, why? Why would you go there, Scott? Seals, check out Devin White on the Pivot. Insightful interview. I will, man. Worth the watch. I will. Garry Evans. Hey, one thing for sure. Gary's right. This guy's in potentially last chance here. Hey, Jack, I thought Garry gave us a lot of insight there. I didn't know that Johnny Wilson was getting moved and him getting more reps. That's the key. Remember when you hear this. Depth charts don't matter. Practice reps matter more. Who is ever getting more game film and more game tape Those are the players that the coaches have an eyeball on and that are preparing them for the upcoming season. It's all about the amount of reps. You got a guy on the sideline and he's not getting any reps. They're not preparing him. Every single and now that you don't have two-a-days, I thought they had at least an early morning walkthrough. I didn't even realize there was none of that. There's none of that. Okay, fine. So that you have limited practice. When you are out there and you've got game tape like that, and you're getting the reps, those are the people they're preparing. Love it, Sills. Keep it going. How you doing, Ruiz? Look at people rolling back into the program. Why is that? Because it's football season. That's why. White said after his dad passed, he went to Germany to play. He wanted the same energy from the Bucks, and they didn't. Hey, Chips, but then you allowed the business of the NFL to destroy your career. You got to overcome that shit. Or you'll be walking a waiver wire like he was. Always remember something, my friend. Okay? Always remember this. The NFL doesn't need you, and we'll move on without you. 227 likes, man. Let's see if we can get that bad puppy over 275. I appreciate that. Big Sills, a super chat. No, I read it. I put it up there. Sills, can you ask Clint Hurt what position Eagles are targeting? I do every day. Sometimes he tells me, sometimes he doesn't. Johnny Wilson is okay. I need to see what he can do in between the 20s. Me too, Crowley. That's kind of where I'm at too. It's one thing to be throwing pitch and catch inside the NovaCare Center walls. It's another thing. Okay. What do you think if the Eagles trade for Max Crosby? Crowley said it first. What do you think if the Eagles trade for Max Crosby? Well, let's do this, Jason. That would automatically be, let's just do a Brian Burns deal. It would be a 2 and a 5. Okay, it'd be a 2 and a 5 and $20 million. He's 26 years old. But here, JM goes, it's not happening. See, with JM, let me put this. He goes, it's impossible. It's not impossible. They got $27.7 million. And the Raiders have shown you one thing. They've moved off of Amari Cooper. They've moved off of Khalil Mack. They've moved off of them dudes. Okay? They've moved off them guys before in the past. All right. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Don't forget, we got a special Birds 365 right after the program. John's going to give you the latest on what's going on. By the way, there's conversation out there that, according to John Clark, that Gardner Johnson had an MRI today. Actually had it right after that press conference he had. So hopefully we can get a little bit of insight into that. John Clark reported MRI. So that's not a good sign, too. Does that expedite the Justin Simmons deal? So special edition, Xander and John. So make sure you do that. Hey, guys, please hit the like button. Power Hour coming up. Keep it here, National Football Show.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.